Now on Up Close, he's one of the NHL's most talented players and most entertaining personalities. And if you question him on it, he just may take you down on the ice to prove it. Jeremy Roenick is Up Close, up next.
From the ESPN studios in Los Angeles, here's Chris Myers.
Hi, how you doing? And welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. In a moment, we'll talk some hockey with Jeremy Roenick of the Phoenix Coyotes. He'll give you his team to beat for the Cup and clear up the Jordan comparison that was part of his exit from Chicago. First, to check out some of the stories making news today. Former Heisman Trophy winner and #1 draft choice Mike Rozier has been upgraded to stable condition. He was shot several times Wednesday near his home in Camden, New Jersey by an unidentified man. Other NFL news, the league has fined Falcon defensive end Chuck Smith $25,000 for a hit Sunday on Carolina quarterback Kerry Collins. Last month, Smith was fined $7,500 for a hit on Troy Aikman. Scott Mitchell is likely to miss another start for the Lions, and receiver Kevin Williams is back practicing with the Cowboys. He expects to be in the lineup when Dallas faces San Francisco Sunday. Deion Sanders says he doesn't care who starts opposite Michael Irvin. And in the NBA, they're playing a two-game set in Tokyo. The Magic beat the Nets 108-95 today. Anthony Hardaway led the way with 23 points. The second game is Saturday. SportsCenter will have more on these stories, including the AL Manager of the Year. Now, up close in the headlines, a bank vault near you. The USA Today newspaper pulled the lid off the NBA's salary cap. Only 5 teams are at or below the $24.3 million limit. Michael Jordan, with his $30 million deal this season, is making more than the entire payroll of 22 teams. And among those teams, the Sonics, Lakers, Knicks, and Rockets. Second highest paid player for this season, by the way, Horace Grant of the Magic, just under $15 million. Up close in the headlines, Houston, hello. Charles Barkley told us on this show at the Summer Olympics that while he respected both of the presidential candidates, he didn't think Clinton or Dole would make a good president, so he did not vote. Charles recently said of Bob Dole, he's as old as my grandmother, and I don't want her to be president. Wonder who he'd vote for if it was between Jerry Colangelo and David Stern. Up close in the headlines, Denver, Colorado. Former Nuggets scorer Dan Issel didn't make the NBA's all-time top 50 list, and when he was asked about it, he said, quote, "It would have been great to make the list, but I'm not going to go out to my garage, suck on my car's exhaust pipe because I didn't." No, we'll leave that for Dennis Rodman to do. Up close in the headlines, Buenos Aires/Havana. An Argentine soccer star, Diego Maradona, one day after he admitted he has a cocaine addiction, is making a career change. He's going to be a television interviewer, and his next show will be a chat with Fidel Castro. Up close goes to Havana. Maybe he'll call it Too Close. And speaking of talk shows, Roseanne has landed a headline guest for her first talk show. She reportedly interviewed Mike Tyson in Las Vegas, where he wrestled his pet tiger. I'd rather see Tyson wrestle Roseanne. Mike also goes on a shopping spree and buys Roseanne a $700 bath towel. Mike might need it when he breaks a sweat Saturday night against Evander Holyfield. Coming up here, we'll go up close with an NHL tough guy, Jeremy Roenick. He'll tell us why he lives life on the edge. Stay with us. I know you will.
Up Close is brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar, home of the Big Mouth Burgers.
The sticks have a personality all their own, and Chili's fire-roasted skewers set the tone. Watch them sizzle from fire and flame. Now beef and chicken ain't the same. Zucchini and squash hooked between peppers and corn. With chili pepper, honey, and lime seasonings, they're adorned. Then lusciously lanced, they're laid upon the flame to feel the fires dance. Fire-roasted skewers, oh, you haven't had them yet? Well, Chili's grills like no place else. On that you can safely bet.
The choice between a sedan and a wagon used to be quite simple. You choose the sedan if you wanted style, the wagon if you wanted more room. That is until Mercury came up with the stylish Sable wagon and the roomy Sable sedan. So to make the choice a little easier for you, we gave them both the same affordable price. Problem solved.
Announcing the Adventure Discovered Sweepstakes.
I've been shopping, big time. It's all right here on my Discover Card statement.
Use your Discover Card and you could win everything on Boyd Matson's statement.
Patagonia. It's me. 2 tickets on American. My new Jeep.
Plus you'll join him on
a National Geographic filming expedition.
It's the grand prize in the Adventure Discovered Sweepstakes.
Well, I've done my shopping. Have you?
It pays to discover. Watch National Geographic Explorer on TBS.
Oh, you You gotta get me out of here. This is not a nice place. Picking up bad habits, Ma. They're making me do bad things. Will you blood out of my face? They're even trying to change the way I look. They can't get any worse than this. I said you got the wrong number, chump.
Oh, Granty.
Baby, are you...
Meet George, your new personal trainer.
Nice to meet you.
Not nice.
Not nice. That's right. Not nice.
Welcome back to the program. It's not every day that we get stars from the NHL to come by the show. Today, joined by the newest member of the Phoenix Coyotes, Jeremy Roenick, has been described as having a rock star personality with the game to match. Little Charles Barkley, little Jim McMahon. He's a four-time NHL All-Star, 250-goal seasons, generally regarded as one of the best defensive forward centers in the NHL. We welcome Jeremy Roenick to the program. Nice to have you on the show.
I'm very, very nice to be here. Thank you.
The impression was that after 8 seasons in Chicago, you forced the trade because of a contract holdout that you really didn't want to end up in Phoenix. True?
No, not true at all. When I got traded in August, I was very ecstatic to know that I was going to a place like Phoenix. A lot because of the guys that were there with the team that they've built, and I did want to go there. I was very excited. But then when we started off contract talks, it was a little frustrating, and I really didn't know where my future was going or where I was going to be. So it got frustrating, and sometimes, you know, when you're in a position like that with a contract dispute, you know, some bad things are going to be said in order maybe to get the ball rolling and to get some of that attention out.
And you wind up with a $20 million contract, but with the team, they were struggling 1-5-1 before you appear on the scene and then score your first goal for the team, which was last Friday night. How important was it for you, given the contract and the holdout and your arrival with hockey in Phoenix, to get that first goal?
It's huge, and for me, I'm used to scoring goals and used to you know, putting the puck in the net a little bit more frequently than I have lately, but it's very frustrating. It's one thing that you have to stay patient. You don't automatically go in and score a goal, especially when you've been out for, you know, a long time and you've been behind a lot of guys. I'm a month and a half behind the rest of the National Hockey League, but
was there more to it, Jeremy, because of the build-up around?
I think so. I think there was a lot of pressure on me outside coming in, being the holdout, being the guy that signed a big contract, and all of a sudden you're supposed to come in and be the Messiah. And it was very hard, and I had to try to, you know, deal around that. And that first one was obviously very good to get.
Yeah, notice you said the Messiah, not the Messier. But do you feel like you have to be hockey's ambassador to Phoenix?
I think I have a large part in it. Myself, Keith Kachuk, Mike Gartner. There are a lot of guys on this hockey club with our goaltender now, Nikolai Habibulin, who, in my opinion, is one of the best goalies in the game and has a great chance to win, you know, the Vezina Trophy. But I think we play a large part in it. You know, obviously the people are going to come to watch the Stars, but it's a game where you depend on everybody on the team, your role players, your stars. Everybody's just as important. And being in the desert, it's different. I mean, there's sand, there's dead palm trees, there's cactuses, there's rattlesnakes. I mean, you really have to watch out there. I don't think people are too knowledgeable about the game yet.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of skates. But so compare then hockey in Phoenix and in Chicago.
I think Chicago is a bigger sports town. Obviously, it's a bigger metropolitan area, and it's more people. But it's a lot of transplants from the north. I think a lot of transplants from Chicago in the Phoenix area, and I think they come down to relax a little bit more. They come down to play golf. They come down to get in the sun, you know, to ease their weary bones or whatever, and then they're going to go out and watch a hockey game, watch us go beat each other up all the time. It's a lot different. I don't think it's a lot different. I think it's something that they need to know, and they need to grow and learn more as the time goes on.
But the crowds have been good, and you hear the howl in the
howl, that coyote howl. It's very obvious.
That's a good thing?
It's a great thing. I think it's great because everybody can do it. You know, they can go there and, you know, they can get out all their frustrations and go howl for a little while. You know, it's something that you definitely have to get used to, and it's something we didn't hear in Chicago very often, is a howl like that. But it gets people into the game. It's great.
And you were really loved in Chicago. The great columnist there, Bill Verdi, said that owner Bill Wirtz, his way of celebrating the 25th anniversary of letting Bobby Hull go was by letting you go. When you think back, because I know you wanted to stay there, if all things could have been equal, whose fault is it that you're not still in Chicago?
I think we're all at fault, to tell you the truth. I don't think you can place the blame on any one person. You know, I did say a lot of things in the press, and I got...
Anything that you regret?
Nothing that I regret. No. I might have, maybe I should say it a little differently, or go about it a little differently. Maybe not use the press like I did. But I don't regret anything that I do. I strongly believe in being honest and being an outspoken person. And if I don't see things going the right way for a hockey club in order for us to win a Stanley Cup, then I'm gonna say something. I didn't feel that our young guys were feeling as confident and wanted to play as bad as a lot of the other guys, and that upset me. So there's a lot of things that happened, lockout. Maybe that hurt me.
Over the years, you have referred to the owner there as a moron, but in this case, he in turn he said that you called yourself the Michael Jordan of hockey during these negotiations.
First of all, I never would call Bill Wirtz a moron. I don't know where that came from. I don't know what writer started that. I would never. I have more respect for the man than that. I would never ever call him a moron. Never. I don't think I would call anybody in management or someone that I respect more, and I think that's bad. But then you get to the Michael Jordan thing, and that's where I got angry, I think, a little bit, and I think it was a beat-down tactic.
So you did not say that you were.
No, I don't think there's not a person in this world I don't believe that can say that statement, that I'm the Michael Jordan of anything except Michael Jordan. I know Michael, and I'm honored to call him a friend of mine, and that hurt me. That hurt me a little bit. Where. And I don't know if it was Bill Wirtz's fault because he didn't read the article correctly, because you can get the whole article. I'll show it on national TV. There's not one place in that article where I said that I am the Michael Jordan of the Chicago Blackhawks. I would never say that. I would never in my life even think that. I did say that I would like to be the Michael Jordan of maybe, the National Hockey League. I mean, if you have 1 million kids in this world, and Nike says it in their commercial, I want to be like Mike, why can't you have professional athletes wanting to be like Mike? But you can do. It's a total opposite of what I said.
One of the things that was the final straw, one of the reasons too that you were so appreciated by the fans in Chicago, your ability to score combined with the toughness, something rarely seen from the center position. In the '94 playoffs, you played with broken ribs. What's your definition of playing tough?
My definition of playing tough, I think it's a recklessness. I think a carefree feeling about your body, going out, throwing your body, hitting the biggest guys, hitting the boards. It's a reckless play, going in and you're skating 35 miles an hour, however fast we skate and we hit boards that don't move. Or you hit guys 235 pounds or 220 pounds.
You're 6 foot, about what, 190?
190.
Yeah, so what are you doing hammering guys like Marty McSorley?
You hit them hard and skate as fast away as you can. No, I had the pleasure of hitting him a couple times, and then him dropping the gloves and fighting me, and then him beating up on me for a little while too. But he's a very, very good competitor and a great player.
Do you ever think in your mind, I've taken this a little too far, this tough thing, I need to pull back a little bit to save myself?
There are a lot of people that say, Jeremy, you got to slow down. You can't play as reckless. You can't throw your body around as much. And it's just part of my game. I love it. I enjoy it. There's something about feeling somebody, a chest sinking into your shoulder, about seeing someone flying through the air. Even at the odd time where you get a little bored and you're dizzy and you're sitting there and your head's spinning around a little bit, and you have a hard time finding your way back to the bench. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun.
That's what makes hockey such a great game. We're with Jeremy Roenick of the Phoenix Coyotes. We'll talk more hockey later. We'll talk about possibly skating in the Olympics, and also he was voted one of the 5 hunks in the NHL by Hard Copy. That deserves a wow. We'll kick that around when we all come back.
Music Express, voted #1 by the National Limousine Association, has offices in Los Angeles and on the East Coast. Music Express can handle your corporate needs anywhere in the U.S. and worldwide. And guests of Up Close stay at the Beverly Prescott, L.A.'s premier boutique hotel. Call your travel agent to make reservations at the Beverly Prescott, a Kimpton hotel.
Only by going alone in silence can one get into the heart of the wilderness. All other travel is mere dust and hotels and baggage and chatter.
It's hard to imagine anyone who hits harder than Mike Tyson. the world. He comes at you with either hand. It doesn't matter. Who wouldn't be afraid to fight him? Finally, Tyson versus Holyfield. One of 3 heavyweight championships. Saturday, November 9th, live on pay-per-view.
7:30 p.m.
Monday night, Sport NFL action starts at 7:30. Mike Tirico, Sterling Sharp, and Joe Theismann take you deep inside the NFL. It's time to catch NFL Prime Monday. Monday nights at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Later on SportsCenter, Ronnie Cycli joins the Magic just in time to go baseline on the Nets in Tokyo. Preparations continue for the Tyson-Holyfield get-together, and we'll get you ready for Sunday's Cowboys-Niners showdown. SportsCenter at 6:30 Eastern.
For 35 years, I did the sports in 4 minutes. Now you got this channel with breaking news, highlights, scores. You know, I was doing sports bloopers back then. Well, we used to call them goofy gaffes. Same garbage.
Jeremy Roenick once scored 8 goals at a Pee-wee tournament. By the time he was 12, he was traveling across North America, attending hockey tournaments and camps. And coming into this season, he had scored 267 career goals in his 8-year NHL career. Amazingly enough, accumulated 570 penalty minutes. That's a significant number for a center, and we welcome him back to the show. By the way, are you proud of that last number?
Of course I am. I like that. I mean, I was very happy when. Obviously, I shouldn't be happy, but when I saw my penalty minutes go over 100 last year, it was not good, but it still had that little thing like, you know, this guy's not afraid to mix it up a little bit.
Do you get more enjoyment out of scoring a goal or knocking somebody a good check to the ice?
Like I said, I get a kick out of doing everything. I feel just as like I've done something just as good by making a big hit as I do scoring a goal, because it gets your team going. It gets the guys excited. It gets the fans into the game. So I feel the same accomplishment for doing it all.
And playing hurt and playing with pain is something, obviously, that you enjoy. In 1989, the playoffs against the Blues, you'd already had 8 stitches for a gash and by a skate blade. Then you had your teeth knocked out. You remember that?
Yeah, that's my first playoff game ever, and that was in St. Louis. And got into a little scuffle with Glenn Featherstone of St. Louis, and he was coming after me, and I did the bad move of turning around, and a stick came right into my mouth and knocked all the front teeth out of my mouth. And
what'd you do? You didn't go?
No, I was in shock, and I didn't know what to do at first. And so all the guys are yelling to the ref, and the ref said, nothing happened, nothing happened. So I went over to him, and I opened my mouth, I stuck my tongue out, and I had all my teeth, all the pieces of my teeth on my tongue. And he looked at it and says, that's, you know, that must have just happened. So he gave the guy a 5-minute penalty. We got a power play and ended up winning the game in the series.
Right, well, the goal, they win the game, the series. What about the teeth? You got that taken care of at some point?
I got to take care of it.
They look all right now.
Now they do. It's taken about 8 years to get them like this, but the modern technology of dentistry, that's big for us hockey players.
But then in '95, Jeremy, you suffer what many thought would be a career-threatening knee injury against the Dallas Stars. It was Dale Hatcher. And since, your numbers have dipped a little bit, you know, you get a little bit older, take a pounding on the ice, and the question was raised, especially after the contract by some around the league, can Jeremy Roenick be the same player he was before that injury after it?
Yeah, that's it's been a big knock on me right now, and that's an injury, and that's the only major injury I've had in 8 years. I mean, before that injury happened, I was second behind Trevor Linden in the Ironman stretch with 200 and
yeah, especially given your size and what we're talking
exactly. So I played a lot of games hurt. I played a lot of games, you know, with nagging injuries, and but never a major injury. And that was my first injury, and I didn't go into surgery. You have a lot of guys in this National Hockey League that have gone under the knife and gone to surgery and had reconstructive surgery, and they're still stars in the league and have been putting up big numbers. And that was a bad injury, but by far it wasn't like some of the injuries that happened in NHL. And I didn't have surgery, and I mean it's ridiculous for people to think that I'm any different player. It's ludicrous. I'm out to prove them wrong.
Right, and certainly you're a guy who has said that you live on the edge. Explain for us your interpretation of that.
I don't know. I think it's my style of play. I go out and it's almost like sometimes I feel like every shift I'm going out and you know, the end of my career is right there. You know, you're going in, you're going to blow your shoulder out, blow your knee out.
So almost motivated by fear a little bit.
Sure. I mean, the fear is not a bad thing. Fear sometimes motivates you to be a better person, a better hockey player, a better, you know, friend, whatever you want to call it.
How do you translate? How does that translate to your life off the ice?
Well, I don't know. I ride motorcycles a lot. I love riding Harley Davidsons, and in Chicago we don't have a helmet law, and now in Phoenix we don't have a helmet law, and I just love that. I just love that feeling of getting on a Harley and throwing some glasses on and shooting down the highway.
And I know your daughter, 2 years old, has changed you a little bit, right?
She's changed me a lot, and I think when I had when we had our daughter, it's the first time where I sat back and didn't think of myself so much. It really put into perspective what life is all about. That you know, that hockey isn't the #1 priority in my life. I have a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter that are #1, and it really, I think it took my daughter to bring that out in me, where I can't think of myself so much. There's definitely more things to it.
Yeah, children can do that to you. And before the break, real quick, how did you get hard copy names you as one of the 5 hunks in the NHL? What happened there?
I couldn't believe it. We went in and they said, "Oh, you've been chosen as a high." I said, "Well, I'm in the wrong room. I got the wrong room." Either that or my mom was one of the voters on the panel. But I don't know. That's obviously very you know, very interesting.
Well, you're going to hear that on the ice, I'm sure.
I'll take it. Thanks, Hard Copy. Appreciate it.
When you get nailed, some people are going to bring that up, some of your opponents. All right, we'll continue with Jeremy Roenick of the Phoenix Coyotes, talking about missing out on the World Cup and his thought on the team to beat for the Stanley Cup. Don't go away.
Test their latest parka, Mother Gert Boyle and son Tim head for the mountains. Columbia Sportswear, one tough mother.
Touchstone Pictures presents.
I'm offering this money as a reward on your head.
Mel Gibson.
I'm going to dedicate my life to tracking you down.
In the most exciting thriller of the year.
I will never, never quit.
A roller coaster ride of suspense.
Sean, I want to listen.
Mel Gibson is mesmerizing.
You kill him. You kill yourself.
Get ready for the ride of your life.
Give me back my son.
Ransom, a Ron Howard film. Rated R. Starts Friday, November 8th.
When it comes to live entertainment, you got dinner theater, that performance art hippie crap, and NC2A basketball on ESPN. College basketball on ESPN. College basketball on ESPN. All the excitement of Vegas, but without some bellhop bugging you for a tip. NC2A basketball on ESPN. Every game counts. Capiche? Every game counts.
With the kind of quality ball players that we had on the club this year, you know, it was kind of hard for everybody to have playing time, but they just took their egos aside and just pulled for each other, and that was the amazing thing about the club.
He said it yesterday on Up Close. Tune in on Friday. Listen to what Ken Caminiti has to say of the Padres. He's an MVP favorite, but listen to his story about beating addiction. On the program Monday, we'll be talking to Sugar Ray Leonard. He'll join us in the studio to talk about why he's coming out of retirement, plus the Tyson Holyfield bout over the weekend. And next week on the program, Bobby Bonilla, the Orioles slugging outfielder, will discuss whether he's coming back to Baltimore and how his reputation was tarnished in New York. Also next week on the show, world record setter Michael Johnson. What does he have in store after winning a couple of gold medals in Atlanta? When we continue here on Up Close, the World Cup, the Stanley Cup, who's the team to beat? Jeremy Roenick continues to talk hockey if you stay with us. Don't go away.
Announcing the Adventure Discovered Sweepstakes.
I've been shopping. Big time. It's all right here on my Discover Card statement.
Use your Discover Card, and you could win everything on Boyd Matson's statement.
Patagonia. It's me. 2 tickets on American.
My new Jeep.
Plus, you'll join him on
a National Geographic filming expedition.
It's the grand prize in the Adventure Discovered Sweepstakes.
Well, I've done my shopping. Have you?
It pays to discover. Watch National Geographic Explorer on TBS.
Continental Airlines, the highest-ranked airline for flights 500 miles and more in the 1996 frequent flyer J.D. Power and Associates study.
Team USA beat Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier in Canada in a dramatic third and final game to win the '96 World Cup, a team that Jeremy Roenick should have been playing on but didn't, since he had yet to sign his contract with the Coyotes. And we are up close talking with Jeremy Roenick. In hindsight, do you regret having not worked things out so that you could have been a part of that? You predicted a U.S. win.
Well, I regret the fact that I wasn't there, that I didn't have a contract in that, but I don't regret my decision not to play. We go back to where I mentioned earlier that I have to think about my family first. And, you know, who's to say that I don't go out there and have a career-ending injury and then I have nothing from then on. And, you know, then I have to wake up every morning and deal with the fact that, you know, I didn't wait, So it was very, very hard for me. And I was extremely, extremely excited to see U.S. do as well as they did. And it was a great thrill. Since 1980, we've been huge USA fans, and, you know, to play for them has been great. But it was awesome.
Maybe a shot in '98, the Winter Olympics in Nagano, of all places. Do you expect to be skating for the U.S. then?
I do expect to be there, and looking forward to it very much. It's the first time that a professional athlete is going to be, a professional hockey player, I should say, is going to be in the Olympics. And, you know, I think there was a big controversy about whether they should be involved because, you know, you have a lot of times where the college kids go out, and that's their dream, is to play in the Olympics, and that's should who play in the Olympics, or should the pros play in the Olympics. And finally they came to the conclusion that they can get the best hockey by having the best in the world, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. All right, so World Cup, possibly the Olympics, the Stanley Cup, you were there close. You were in the finals with Mike Keenan and the Blackhawks, 91-92. Are you closer now or further away from winning a Stanley Cup?
Oh, man, that's... You know what's so hard about this game is you really don't know how close you are. I mean, look at Detroit Red Wings in the last 2-3 years. I mean, they've had the cup in October, November, December, right through until the playoffs, and they didn't win. So who knows who's closer, who's not? I know in '91, '92, when we got there, we were so close, and yet we were still so far. You know, 4 games is still a long way, and when you play in Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins, you really are for a long way. So right now I feel I'm a long way, but with the team that I'm on and the character players that we have on this Phoenix Coyotes team, with the management and everything, I think we have a very strong nucleus of guys to go there.
Mike Keenan may be further away too, now in St. Louis. Since he's been there, he's traded away everybody who was there when he first arrived, with the exception of Brett Hull. We've heard a lot about it. We've had him on the show. He's a very interesting guy. Would you want to play for him again?
I'd play for him anytime. I'd play for him in a heartbeat, mainly because I feel that Mike Keenan really made the player that is Jeremy Roenick. I came to Chicago and I was a nervous kid, and I was not a physical player. I was not an overly aggressive personality, but he taught me quick, either you play my way, you play tough, you play physical, or you're going to sit on the bench. And he really scared me into, if you want to play here, you do what I say. And, you know, Mike taught me how to be that kind of person. Plus, he was always there for me when I needed him. You know, if I needed him for anything off the ice, he was there where I can come and talk to him, and he was like a father figure. So I really do appreciate Mike Keenan.
This year in the NHL with Gretzky in New York and Messier, they've been on a roll. Florida got off to the great start. Who's the team to beat for the Stanley Cup?
Wow, there's so many teams that can jump into the mix. I think Colorado is right now the big team that everybody has to watch after. Detroit is always going to be right there. With Messier and Gretzky together, even though they didn't start out that well, I think this team is really going to pull it away. I think the expertise and the leadership that Gretzky and Messier are going to bring together, I think their overall experience is going to rise that team to a new level.
All right, we got 10 seconds. January 2nd, you travel back in Phoenix to Chicago. Has that gone through your mind? What's that going to be like?
That's gone through my mind for a good 3-4 months now, and it's going to be very nerve-wracking for me. I'm going to love getting in front of the Chicago fans again. I can't wait to see them again and battle them. It's going to be a really fun night.
We'll go down there and beat somebody up. I know you will.
It's going to be a fun night, no question.
All right, thanks for coming by.
All right, thanks for having me.
Nice having you on the show. Have fun in Phoenix with hockey. We'll have you on again. Jeremy Roenick,
thank you,
of the Coyotes with us. We appreciate him joining us. We'll see you on Friday. Ken Caminiti of the Padres will be here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.